Hi, I'm Clinton.
I'm Claude, and we're the lamest offenders. For today's feature, we're actually going to focus on Spider-Man's involvement with the MCU going forward, and especially with Far From.
Claude. Spider-Man's out.
So Deadline reported today about Sony and Disney haven't really agreed to terms about where Spider-Man could go and the deal that they previously had.
Yeah.
So what's happening is Spider-Man won't be involved in the MCU whatsoever.
More Avengers.
Yeah, so this includes Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige won't be a producer for any more Spider-Man films, which we could safely say was what made those movies great.
It's according to Deadline, he was a huge Spider-Man. He is a huge Spider-Man fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably his favorite superhero, and he's very interested in Spider-Man's canon in the Marvel universe. So yeah,
And just coordinating things with director John Watts and Tom Holland, he kind of just put that shine on the movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Deadline sources also said there were two more John Watts, Tom Holland Spidey movies that are still happening no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting about what's going on with that. So
Yeah. Disney wanted to alter, much like Darth Vader, they wanted to alter the deal.
Yeah.
Disney wanted to alter their previous deal making, they wanted, instead of, Sony was giving them 5%, and Disney wanted 50%. Not just Spider-Man, but all Marvel properties that Sony owns, like Morbius and Venom. That is
5% of nothing is
So, and it just fell apart. Sony was just like, no, thank you. They gave a counter offer, but from what I've read in the Deadline article, Sony or Marvel has walked away. They're like, nope, no deal.
Right.
So,
well, because Sony now has, with Spider-Man: Far From Home, that was it's the highest grossing international box office movie they ever had. And then also today, there was articles saying that Far From Home is actually being re-released into theaters.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
do
still
we have
happening.
To do this?
Yeah, additional 4 minutes of footage.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Great.
But yeah, so basically, Sony did say
Does
no.
Does Mysterio
thanks.
win in the end?
Yeah, I don't know.
Otherwise, I don't really care. I've seen it. I don't. All right, but anyway, I digress.
So for this deal, now that Sony is going to lead all efforts with Spider-Man, this has me worried. And honestly, for I guess fans of the character, it should have you guys petrified as well.
Yeah, it's Sony's incompetence against Disney's greed.
Right.
So
right.
it's not. This is neither side wins in this one. It's going to be bad.
If you guys are unfamiliar with Sony's history with Spider-Man, they had the film rights obviously for quite a while, and so their track record's kind of a mixed bag. So the first two Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, directed by Sam Raimi, those were excellent films.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, because of Sony's interference with the movie, just adding more and more things, especially Avi Arad.
Yeah.
So you guys look him up. And he really wanted Venom in the movie, and Sam Raimi was completely against it.
Yeah.
So then you had Spider-Man 3, which was a mess.
Yeah.
So they started again with Amazing Spider-Man, which is a good movie. Had a really great cast. And then the sequel came out, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Sony saw what MCU was doing with a connected universe. Sony realizing, hey, we have a bunch of Spider-Man potential here. We have the rights to all these Spider-Man associated characters. Let's just jam-pack Amazing Spider-Man 2. And it was a busy movie. And it's almost like you can't blame the director because you have all these things just jammed in there. You had Green Goblin at the end, Rhino a little bit, Electro that was handled very poorly, and then
a vault full of other stuff. What was the company that whatever.
Yeah, and then they also did. They were teasing a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
So they had that. Then obviously MCU Spider-Man happened. His first appearances in Civil War.
Yeah.
Which was excellent, and then that's when Sony and Marvel came together for that that new deal. And then so we're like, okay, no more bad Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then they released Spider-Verse, and I remember thinking, oh man, this is gonna suck. But it turned out to be really, really good.
One of my favorite superhero movies of the last few years. I
Yeah.
really liked it.
I think
was shocked.
and it won a Oscar.
Yeah, best animated feature.
I think it's.
Like that.
I mean, I'm biased, but I think it was the best.
Yeah,
animated
it was well done.
movie I've ever
really
seen.
Well done. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Homecoming. Sorry. Yeah.
Right, yeah, Homecoming,
Yeah.
solo movie, and then Far From Home, obviously. But way back when Sony's movie, I guess Studio Columbia was kind of in trouble, and then there was the North Korea thing about they hacked into Sony, and they saw some emails, and then you saw what Sony was planning for Spider-Man movies. There was, no joke, look it up, an Aunt May tween movie where it's just Aunt May, like. Is supposed to be like a teenage comedy or something like that. Okay, so that's one.
Yeah.
So Venom turned out really well.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Kevin Feige was actually involved with Venom.
He was uncredited on the movie. That was with the Deadline article as well today. That I guess no one knew about it, or no one said anything, because he was.
Could have been way worse than it was.
Yeah, I'm sure. He was just like a secret little co-conspirator, I guess. So,
yeah. Well, it helped.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe we could have ended up with a Venom MCU with his involvement.
Yeah.
And then also you have the Venom 2.
Yep.
And then the other movies that Sony planned to do. Morbius, which is currently filming, almost done with that with Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I predict that movie is going to be awful. It's just one of those characters where it feels like Sony doesn't know what they have, and they see Morbius and they're like, gold
he's a
mine.
Vampire.
Yeah.
Kids still talk about Twilight, probably.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those. In my opinion, he never really had a great storyline in the comics. It was just the 80s popping out.
He's a villain. He can't carry a movie. He's not an anti-hero. He just...
And in the comics, basically, he's a good scientist now, just basically working on his cravings, kind of like the lizard. So it's just like,
there's not going to be any more Morbius comics coming anytime soon. I can guarantee that.
And then finally there's actually two more. There's a Kraven solo movie, which is completely unnecessary if you don't have Spider-Man, which could happen now. And then also a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie, which, knowing the characters, it's like, what?
I would not be shocked now that you say that. I would not be shocked if Morbius reshoots and Tom Holland Spider-Man makes an appearance in that movie. Because he's going to be in everything now.
Right.
He's going to be in everything.
So we talked about Sony's faults. Do you kind of want to go over... Disney is by far not a spotless company.
No, Disney's a little greedy sometimes. And the fact that they went from... I know it's a negotiating tactic. I know that. They went from 5 to 50. They probably wanted like 25 to 30. That's probably what their real number was. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming Disney's playing hardball. Yeah. This is like we're just going to do this and we'll come back to the table maybe.
Always ask more than you expect, and then it might happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But then Sony was like, and then they left.
And then Disney was like, all right, forget it. So they just walked out.
So the question that I have, and I wanted to kind of get your opinion on it, and really you guys too in the comments, do you think, I guess now that Marvel/Disney doesn't have the rights to Spider-Man for the movie, do you think they're going to do what they did a few years ago when Fox wouldn't play ball, and just literally tank X-Men and Fantastic Four comics? And then if you notice now, those characters are back in the limelight because Marvel/Disney owns them.
I doubt it. Spider-Man is Marvel's Mickey Mouse.
Right.
He is by far their most popular character. They're not going to tank. They may take him out of a few projects. Maybe.
Yeah, he's got like 8 comics. Should do that anyway.
They might narrow it down to like 6 or 7. But they're not going to cut him outright. Like, he's still going strong.
And if you look too, like when every month's sales charts for comics, Spider-Man's in there. He's usually top 5, if not number 1. I mean, the X-Men comics just recently with their new reboot, they've been number 1.
Just done really well. Really well.
Another question that I have: is it only a matter of time before, I guess, Disney just buys Sony?
Maybe.
Already a
Like,
monopoly.
they might just be like, well, we already just bought Fox. What else can we get?
You know, my love for the character Spider-Man, I loved him with the MCU, but Disney to me right now is so big. I think it would be ethically wrong for them just to get even bigger, because it's to the point where they're the first order that they're making movies about in the new Star Wars. That's basically Disney, and Disney has had that reputation for such a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Evil Empire.
Yeah.
No, it's but why would they? I mean, I know it's a hypothetical question, but why would Disney buy Sony?
Just,
I mean, just
literally,
well,
just
they would have
Spider-Man.
Would they buy Columbia? I guess. They'd
Yeah,
have to
the
buy
whole-
Columbia. They'd have to buy the whole company, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to make TVs now? Are they going to ear mouse ears? Like,
yeah,
mouse ears?
I don't think they have
That
any
could actually
interest
sell
in
well.
that. But if they can get the film thing, it's similar to what happened with the Fox deal. But right
Sure.
now, I don't think Sony will ever sell their Columbia Movie Pictures studio, because
Especially not
it's
to
doing
Disney.
really well.
Yeah,
and
not
it's
to Disney,
doing
no
well
way.
because of Disney. I feel like with Far From
It is, yeah.
Home, you have Jumanji.
Yeah.
So, I guess just with this whole thing, I mean, what's your personal reaction now to this news?
I said it earlier. This is just bad for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
This is just. I mean, I think Marvel will be fine.
Yeah.
Marvel has Fantastic Four and X-Men still up their sleeve
Right.
with a ton of characters. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks not having their primo character, their the bankable, most bankable, most recognizable character. Basically, they don't have him. That sucks. But this is going to hurt Sony in the long term.
Yeah, creatively they are up a creek.
Yeah.
Because
What are they going to do?
we know they can't.
Reboot Spider-Man again in 5 years? Like I honestly feel like that's going to come.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Tom Holland, he's going to move on to better things.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good actor. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder too, like how they're going to, I guess, address that in the new Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Are they so obviously his new suits? I don't know if they're even allowed to reference MCU anymore about made
if
his
I
new
were
suit.
Marvel, I wouldn't. Like, no.
Yeah.
You can't say it. You can't. Tony Stark? Who?
Yeah.
Who's that to you?
So Sony, knowing them creatively, they're gonna come up with something lame.
Probably.
To be expected, where probably Tom Holland's Peter Parker wakes up and he's like, oh wow, what a crazy dream, and everything now it's Sony stuff, so we're gonna have lots of tie-ins, all the Sony computers and everything like that.
Is he gonna have the suit with the goggles from the?
I don't think
Homecoming?
I don't think
'Cause
so. I don't think any MC allowed
He
stuff.
shouldn't. I mean, that was in Marvel too. So that's gonna be a big legal battle just on
Right.
that alone.
And then also, I think maybe if they just want to wipe the slate clean, as sad as it is, maybe they will get rid of Tom Holland again and then just do it with Miles Morales, just to make it. That's the easiest thing I can
That
see.
would be the quickest. Like that would just be the cleanest, quickest way. Like, well, no more Peter Parker. Miles Morales' turn now.
I was about to say they could create their own version of Mephisto and do Brand New Day.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be funny. Back in our Venom 2 prediction video, I made a rather bold statement at the time. So I thought that Spider-Man was going to be in Venom 2 for about 20 to 30
now
minutes.
you look like a genius.
Yeah, and now that has gone up considerably. So I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. Right
I
now.
hope Andy Serkis likes Tom Holland because
exactly.
he's going to be working with him heavily now.
I think so. Yeah. Which, if they're smart, they will do that.
Yeah.
Because they're going to need him. They're going to need Venom now. Mm-hmm. Venom and Carnage, which means, does Carnage get away in Venom 2? Because now they have to do Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
They have to at this point, or they're going to run out of ideas, like you were saying earlier.
Who knows, though? I mean, maybe Disney and Sony will come back to the table. It could.
I think they will. Honestly,
it seems to work out favorably for both of them.
It really does. I mean, these companies like money.
Yeah.
But
just think of the damage that could happen right now to the Spider-Man film franchise
sure.
if Sony does their own Spider-Man movie without the help of the MCU. They're gonna give him like another emo haircut, give him the black suit again, just mess up the character, and then he gets handed over to the MCU if another deal.
What if Marvel just kept him dusted at the end of Infinity War? He was just dusted.
It could have worked out.
There you go, Sony. It's your problem now. You bring him back. Good luck using any of our characters.
Right.
So.
Now they would just do another reboot again. So,
Yeah, probably.
Well, guys, this is our first really breaking video. So we hope you liked it. Please leave your thoughts and honestly predictions what happens going forward with the character.
Yeah, please be sure to hit like and subscribe.
It's a dark day
for
Spider-Man
fans here.
Spider-Man fans.
It's not that good, but and for just moviegoers in general, this just sucks for everybody.
We feel for you, Tom Holland. We feel for you, John Watts, because there's a nightmare coming.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck getting out of that forest. You're gonna need it.
Thanks, guys.
Stay lame.